But there is huge respect between this pair. They know that both are capable of coming away with a win. Both can be unplayable if they hit top form. So a lot at stake, a big prize on offer. £50,000 riding on this match alone. Guaranteed 125,000 for the winner. And that was a lovely opening red from Judd Trump. So Trump strikes first.
That really was a beautiful pot to get in with. And in goes the black as well. Now is he on the red? Just about. He'd like to be on the red just to the left of the pink.
8.
But if he isn't, he can certainly see enough of the one to the left of that. But I think he's okay. Wasn't too much wrong with Ronnie's safety. And this is why I love watching Judd Trump, because he's very, very creative. A lot of players, if they were going to attempt that long red that he just knocked in, would have played it to the left corner, but Judd played it to the right corner. It's a much harder pot, but less danger involved, less risk. He could pay
14.
dividends here. He's right in amongst them. Judd, one of these players who likes to get the pack of reds open as early as possible.
He put together 22 consecutive
15.
victories during that period in which he won 3 ranking titles back-to-back. The English Open, the Wuhan Open, the Northern Ireland Open. Only the 5th player to achieve 3 in a row. 7 finals in all for Trump this season. He's been a serial winner once again. By his stellar standards, modest. Certainly in the ranking events, he did win a
20.
second Masters, but didn't win a ranking title. As O'Sullivan for once watches on. He was doing all the potting last night. But not for long. That's a surprise error from Trump. A routine red goes astray.
Do you know, I was just thinking of a black off the spot that Judd missed, trying to roll it in, because Judd addresses the cue ball right of centre, and as he delivers the cue through to the cue ball in the act of striking it, it sort of recenters itself, but it doesn't always come bang in line again, and it can cause the odd mistake. Now, if Ronnie O'Sullivan can punish that error,
8.
it'll give Judd Trump something to think about. Oh, but Ron himself guilty of an easy error.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 8.
Nervy start.
And that's not surprising, even for 2 great players like this, the standout players of the campaign. There's a lot at stake, not least financially, but also bragging rights with the World Championship around the corner. Clearly both of these players are going to be heavily fancied when we get to the Crucible in a month's time. He's very good at those shots, Judd Trump. The thin snicks from the balk area, gets a very high percentage. There was a period where he was actually the dominant player in this rivalry. Of course, he beat O'Sullivan in 3 consecutive Northern Ireland Open finals. He beat him handsomely in the 2019 Masters final as well, which was the precursor to his World Championship success a few months later when he played at Absolutely incredible snooker in the final to demolish John Higgins over 2 days. But the tables have turned of late, with O'Sullivan coming out on top
11.
in those last 4 meetings. So Trump will be looking to address that recent reversal at the hands of his opponent today.
Left himself a nice angle to work with here on the black. He could play a delicate screw back into the 2 reds together. Although saying that, he's just a fraction straight on the black here. Had to force it in. But of course there are reds in open play, so there was no need to go into anything or
19.
play any cannons that could go wrong.
20.
Well, he certainly has a good angle here. Could play a delicate cannon into the 2 reds together, furthest right. But I'm a little surprised to see him leave the cue ball so low on this red, so he can't get onto the black now. We'll have to go up for the blue or even the bulk colours. There's quite an angle on this red.
28.
So now he's going to have to do a lot of work here for the cue ball to come back down amongst the reds. Easy to misjudge.
$32. $33.
Crowd acknowledging another good recovery shot, but once again not ideal on the blue. 45 the lead, but still 67 on.
And this is all because he didn't play very well for the red a few shots earlier.
38.
From it, he had to go all the way up for the brown and then caught the bump of the middle pocket. And this is what happens. You tend to find yourself further and further away from good position. And in the end,
Just
so often happens,
30.
you break down. And although he hasn't left the red over the corner pocket, it's easy for Ronnie to plant this other one onto it. It could be a costly mistake.
O'Sullivan was unplayable last night, as John Higgins acknowledged afterwards. He had a chuckle to himself when he was reminded that he hadn't actually potted a single ball during the 4 frames. But O'Sullivan has already missed a couple of chances in this opening frame this afternoon against Trump.
I'm sure Ronnie will be very disappointed with a couple of the mistakes that he's made in this opening frame.
It's their 29th meeting. It's actually only the 4th time they've played over this best-of-7 frame format. Trump's won 2 of the 3. Of course, the final later this evening here in Riyadh will be over the best-of-9 frames, the first of 5 to collect that £250,000 first prize. Luca Bracell awaiting the winner, fresh from his excellent 4-2 win over Mark Allen earlier, a match that featured 3 centuries. 13 in all now for the tournament. That's another mistake from Trump, though, catching the middle pocket jaw. Another opportunity for Ronnie O'Sullivan to hit back in this first frame. And you can feel the tension out there.
Both of these players are just so wary of one another's abilities. I think it's leading to some of these errors. Just not quite so easy to settle down, but what a chance again this is for Ronnie O'Sullivan. And the red he wants to get onto here, if he can, is the one closest to the black spot. Because once he can remove that, he can then get the black back onto its spot. And with the reds placed as they are, surely he has to be favourite to overturn this deficit.
Six. Seven.
O'Sullivan is second on the one-year ranking list behind Trump, which is pretty remarkable when you consider that he's withdrawn from 6 ranking events,
14.
as well as the Champion of Champions, which he won last season, beating Trump in the final. But when he has shown up, he's been devastating. Of course, he won a record-breaking 8th UK and Masters title, a 5th Shanghai Masters, and the World Grand Prix against his opponent
15.
this evening. And what an opportunity. 35 behind, but that's almost irrelevant given the position of the balls. Be a surprise if O'Sullivan doesn't pinch this opening frame from here.
21. 22.
Doesn't need to play for the black
29.
from this red, but he may well do so. Just means that the
30.
cue ball has a bit further to travel on its way up to the yellow, but this type of clearance, Ronnie O'Sullivan, really ought to be like shelling peas.
$37.
He was hard at work on the practice table ahead of this match. And that's something, of course, that is overlooked, the amount of work that goes into being this brilliant. Yes, both of these players are possessed of an extraordinary natural ability, but it's allied to
39.
tremendous dedication on the practice table, hours and hours. In O'Sullivan's case, for several decades to get
42.
this good when the pressure's on the match table on a big occasion like this. Brand new tournament, huge prize on offer.
$46. 51.
So both pink and black required. Judd Trump has had a couple of opportunities, couldn't quite get a tight rein on the cue ball and missed, and then the safety error
57.
in catching the jaw at the left centre pocket gave O'Sullivan this chance.
64.
And he's taken it with a break of 64. So a dramatic O'Sullivan in 5 attempts. The overall head-to-head favouring the 7 times world champion 15-13. A rivalry that dates back to 2008. And one of the most compelling in the sport. Particularly given how well they've both played this season. Head and shoulders above the rest of the field in terms of what they've achieved, with 4 big titles each. And another big one on the line today. Nicely stroked in. He's lost the cue ball a little. This table has been like lightning all week. I think he's just double checking with Jan Verhaas that the golden ball is not playable until a maximum is made, and it becomes live. So it'll now disappear off the table.
Three.
Or it should do.
Yeah, I think Ronnie was down to play his shot, so Jan didn't have the chance to remove it. He's just done so. That looks, at first glance, have worked out beautifully for Ronnie. The pink available into the right centre. He spread the reds fantastically well. Wonderful chance of 2-0. I was just thinking the way that Ronnie won that last frame was beneficial in a way, because Judd has had a few mistakes to ponder while he sat in his chair. Sometimes if you break off, you leave a long red on for your opponent and make a 100 break, it doesn't really affect you because you've done nothing wrong really. But Judd made a few mistakes in that last frame and he lost it, so he's got something to think about.
Really was a sensational performance, even by O'Sullivan standards, against one of his greatest rivals, John Higgins, last night. 489 points to 4.
10.
3 centuries and an 82 to finish. John Higgins restricted to 4 penalty points. That was it from the great man. Such was O'Sullivan's dominance.
11.
Now in his 49th year, but absolutely no signs that his game
16.
is in any way on the decline. On the contrary.
17.
Well, a dream result for Ronnie. Cannoning this red 4 ball. It's left him right in amongst them now. Multiple reds available into that left corner. Well, he's absolutely perfect just to run through for the black. Done for the pink. Choices abound.
29.
Yes, it's already looking concerning from Judd Trump's viewpoint. O'Sullivan fresh from his 64 clearance. Take the opening frame. Oh, but hang on. Just when it looked like plain sailing, it's gone awry.
36.
Looking at that overhead, I think he just cannoned the wrong red. He's done what all players should do in a situation like that and just take their medicine, keep the pressure on the opponent. So easy to take something on you shouldn't in a situation like that through sheer frustration.
Big let-off nonetheless for Trump, who would have been expecting a 2-0 reversal there. In the event, just 36 points the deficit.
Ronnie having a look to see if he can make a 3-ball plant here, but Judd has just cannoned the yellow in front of the brown, so a good target to get the cue ball in behind.
Well over 3 years, in fact, since Trump got the better of O'Sullivan. It was an emphatic one, the semi-finals of the World Grand Prix back in December of 2020. Can he turn the tables in the second frame, come from behind to level this match?
Well, it was Judd's cue ball control that let him down badly in that first frame, and it's let him down badly here as well. It's difficult enough to get the better of Ronnie O'Sullivan when he's playing well, and when you do get opportunities, you need to score from them. Judd has just let himself down a little here positionally in these first 2 frames. He could still cut this red into the right centre, but it's very missable.
Judd-trump, 3.
It's not quite happening for Trump at the moment. He's trying to impose himself on this match, but 1 or 2 errors, lost position early. Just now when he had a chance for a counter. This wasn't easy, clearly, but just trying to settle into his game here. It's not quite happened thus far. But O'Sullivan overcutting the red. Another little shake of the head from him. There's a lot riding on this. Both players are feeling it out there for sure. And again, an unwanted kiss.
Judd-trump, 1. Foul. And a miss. Judd-trump.
Had to weather quite a storm early on against Sean Murphy, who was irresistible in the first couple of frames with back-to-back centuries. And even after Trump had levelled at 2-all, Murphy pulled away again, only for Trump to eventually get over the line in the decider. But
7.
Once again, that's gone wrong early. Positionally, no joy. Just a safety. It's been quite a frustrating start to this semi-final for Trump so far.
Yes, yet another positional mistake from Judd when he's had what looked to be a really good opportunity to score heavily. It just happens that way sometimes. You play what you think is an easy enough cannon and it just goes wrong.
Yes, it happened to O'Sullivan early in this frame when he was looking good in amongst them. Had to play safe. Things have become a bit scrappier since then.
There is a chance of a cuttable red here for Judd into this left corner. Just have to be careful with the path of the cue ball, though.
One. Judd-trump. One.
He's managed to get the snooker.
If Ronnie can somehow rest upon the top red of those three in a line along the left-hand side cushion, it should be perfectly safe. Instead, though, tried to swing the cue ball around the angles. And although he certainly hasn't played it particularly well, it may well be good enough.
He's muscled that red in. Thought about staying above ground.
Surprised to see that drop, given the pace that Judd played it at, but early signs that this table's playing slightly on the heavy side. Judd can normally screw the cue ball back with ease. But he had to put a lot of effort into that. And the cue ball didn't travel too far. Now, this is what amazes you with Judd Trump. Sometimes he makes the most elementary positional errors, and then he can come up with something that's quite out of the top drawer like that.
Sizable crowd enjoyed that one. Couldn't have placed the cue ball any better. And Trump just looking for a spark early in this match. It's not quite gone to plan for a frame and a half, but here's a chance to change that after that superb positional shot.
Well, he does have an angle here on the red nearest the pink to bring the awkward red into play, which is something that he will need. Decided against it, but there will be another opportunity very shortly, I'm sure, to bring that tricky red into play. Well, I'm sorry, that's just a poor positional shot. He may be able to pot this red, but he may have to play with right-hand side just to make the potting angle. And therefore he couldn't cannon the red into play.
23.
way of getting on the red, so having to settle for a
Trump,
safety.
20.
So just 12 points between them, 35 left. Not the sort of frame you necessarily associate with an O'Sullivan-Trump match, but a vital one. We know what a great front runner O'Sullivan is. Trump hasn't really settled in this match yet. And given it's only a brief one, 7 frames, a 2-0 deficit to O'Sullivan would take some retrieving. So even early in this match, these are important moments.
Executed the shot very well there, Judd, but a little fortunate that the red has gone in behind the brown. Well, Ronnie's cut the red in. Now, did he attempt the cut?
In the end, that brown provided the perfect marker, didn't it? Hitting the red absolutely spot on to make the pot. But he's missed the blue. That is a surprise. So
Ronnie
it's been a
O'Sullivan.
nervy old frame this. So just the safety. So, a scrappy frame, edgy and nervy, super tense here in Riyadh, in now to level the match. He'll be relieved.
7.
And he's done that now.
12. 18.
Super tense stuff in our second Riyadh.
1.
Nicely played shot. It didn't land in A1 position on the
8.
black, so nice retrieving cannon required.
9. $16. 17. 22. 23.
Well, you can screw right through these reds here, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Plays that shot so well, controls it so well, but on this occasion, it may not have worked out for him. Possibility of a red into the yellow pocket, perhaps, but that's about all.
An excellent retrieving pot from O'Sullivan, back in pole position.
$38. Don't move, please. Thank you.
Bit of movement in the audience. Yabahas just reminding the spectators to remain still, and the players down on the shot.
39.
As he held the cue ball well enough for this red into the left corner picture, I'd say
45.
he hasn't. Trying to swerve it in. Oh, it fell at the last. I can't believe it. I didn't think that was...
I don't think Ronnie did either. Looked as though it had caught too much of the jaw, but drop it did, much to the displeasure of Judd Trump. He must have thought for a second he was back in there.
$53.
As it is, O'Sullivan moving with inside of a 2-1 lead in pretty quick time.
54.
Trump had the initial chance. Excellent opening red, but missed the brown to the left centre. Is it going to be his final meaningful shot of this frame?
$61.
Certainly looking that way.
$62.
This blue and one more red to retake the lead. Could have gone wrong a couple of times this break, but O'Sullivan was up to the
67.
task of retrieving the situation.
68.
And now just a question of how many he's going to make. Will it be his 4th century in his second match?
$75.
40 this season. Closing in on 1,250 now for his career.
$83.
Judd Trump has already given this frame up, of course, thinking about the 4th.
84.
These could have been his had that brown gone in, but it wasn't to be.
$91. $92. $99.
For century number 12 for 8.
100. $103.
And I think we're seeing here in Ronnie
105.
O'Sullivan, and you'll see it in Judd Trump as well as with all the other top players, that they put these disappointments of a poor performance in a previous frame right behind them. They're very good at focusing on the present,
108.
confining bad mistakes to history.
Yes, O'Sullivan would have been irked to have missed the blue at the
112.
back end of that scrappy second frame, which let Trump back in on his way to levelling the match, but this is some response.
170.
He can't eclipse the highest break of the week, which is Ding Junhui's 138. And he doesn't even bother with the black. 123 will do. A slab of brilliance. Line on the pink. So Trump with a lot to do now. He's clearly going to have to play a whole lot better than he's done so far today if he's to play Luca Brecel in the final this evening, which is from 8 o'clock UK time. Brecel having beaten Mark Allen earlier by 4 frames to 2, a match which was of very high quality, 3 centuries in that one. Brecel getting the better of Mark Allen with a frame to spare.
That looks to be a good safety from Ronnie, forcing Judd to play something down this right-hand side of the table. And I don't think this is going to reach, is it? Not quite.
The miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
No real harm done though, just the 4 points given away.
Can Judd Trump summon up some inspiration? We know he's well capable of it. Time and time again during his successful spells of title winning, we've seen him win ugly on occasion, come through matches from losing positions. It's another story to do it against O'Sullivan. With so much riding on this match financially. And 7 times world champion is back in.
Four. Five.
Has an angle here on the blue to go into the pack of reds if he wishes. Caught them well. And I think he'll be happy with the end result.
10. 11.
Just didn't strike through the cue ball there, Ronnie. He's left himself a little hampered now. And this won't be easy because he's got to get into the cue ball here, potentially, to get position on his next red. Oh, he's just about okay, it would seem. Just dropping the black in instead.
$18. $19.
Judd Trump's highest break in this match so far, just 38. O'Sullivan, of course, made the sparkling 1-2-3 for 2-1, having stolen the opening frame with a 64 clearance.
27.
And now building a very handy lead in the frame he needs for yet another final.
In an odd sort of way here with this, because he has a potable red to the left centre. I think he was aware that playing that shot to go into the reds. There's every likelihood he'd finish on nothing. He's just awkwardly positioned here on the brown. Judd Trump will have a good view of this, sitting in his chair. How can Ronnie pull out a great positional shot here? Because he's going to need one. Just glance the yellow. And he has the option of a couple of possible reds to both left and right hand corner pockets, but both of them have risk attached.
Yeah, it's a great pot, clean as a whistle. It's an area of O'Sullivan's game which I think is as good as it's ever been, actually. His long potting, his consistency from distance, outstanding. I guess you could say that about his game in general. There really is no sign at all of deterioration, but that's not great. So 49 in front, very useful lead.
Just saw a glimpse there, didn't we, of the two possible reds, the green pocket.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 45.
The break ends at 45, 49 the advantage. Always just a little wide, this one. Well, that's a very good shot in the circumstances from Trump, who really has struggled to get anything going so far in this match. There's still time for him, of course. He's only 2 behind. Looking for a really substantial break to restore a bit of confidence and give O'Sullivan something to think about. Has he overcut the black? He has. That's been the story, really, for Trump. Just too many missed pots today.
Very well cued from Ronnie O'Sullivan, so this is the chance that he's been looking forward to apply the final killing thrust. One good positional shot should do it.
Eight. 9.
Yes, the writing very much on the wall now. Judd Trump will be disappointed, not just with the likely result, but the way he's played. He's not produced anything like the form that he needed to get the better of O'Sullivan, who's played within himself in the main. Still managed a century, his 4th of the tournament, but he's done more than enough to come through with something to spare. Off 7 in a row.
$29.
And you get the sense that there's plenty more in the tank for O'Sullivan. He's been shaking his head a fair bit in this match. He's not thrilled with his level today, but it's been more than enough to get the better of Judd Trump.
36.
Finale to savour here in Riyadh. 5th consecutive win over Judd Trump. An out of sorts Trump today.